We're going to show you how to run the Xerox 4260 machine. There's a few issues that make it a little bit more complicated than the average copier that you can just place a copy either in the document feeder or underneath the glass. And here's our picture that we're going to use. We're going to place it on the document feeder, and usually the auto select is going to be the natural default, and this is what the screen is going to look like when you first walk in. Nobody else has made a copy, first copy of the day, and so you place your picture up there on the document feeder and you push start, and this is what's going to happen. So it's taking the original, and down here we have our copy. There we are. And now we're going to try this again, but let's say for instance we want to use specialty paper, so we're going to make it more custom. So we have this yellow cardstock, so we're going to place this in here in the tray, paper tray here, and now it's going to come up with a screen that allows me to customize it because I have a cardstock. Now it's 8.5 by 11, so I can leave it there. And over here we have the type of paper. It's plain paper, but we want to change it. There's a lot of different options like lightweight, transparency, labels, just all sorts of different options here. And right here is our cardstock, so we're going to press cardstock. So now it says cardstock. And then over here we have white, and I'm not sure that this even matters if you push yellow, but because we have yellow, let's say somebody has placed yellow in and they've pressed yellow on the setting, and now we have a custom setting. We're going to push confirm, but unless we pick the tray, it won't copy it, because I'll show you here it's on auto, and I'll push start, and we have the paper in the document feeder. So we press start, it runs through, and now it's saying you didn't load it in the bypass tray. So we're going to close this out, and now I want to delete this job because it didn't do what I needed to. I'm going to confirm. Do you want to cancel this? Yes, I do want to cancel it because it didn't do what it was supposed to do. We're going to try this again. What it's requiring for me to do is to choose my custom tray that I designed, the yellow cardstock. So I'm going to press that, and I'm going to place my original on the document feeder, and we're going to try this again. And if you push start, you've set your custom settings, and you've pressed the custom setting button that you have created, which you can see that says yellow cardstock there. And so you press start, and now it recognizes what you've done, and it's making the copy and it's accepting it. So for a specialized copy, that's how you're going to create it. And then down here, there it is. And there is your cardstock with your yellow bird. Now that you've created that specialty setting, maybe the person setting that will leave the room and another person will come in to make a copy. And oftentimes the auto select will go back to auto select, or if you push clear all, right here there's a clear all button, it will, I'll show you. So it's pressed it back up to there, so I'll show you again. If I press clear all, it pops it right back to auto. But the problem is that this prevents you from making an auto select copy where you just simply have come in with your original, placed it on the document feeder, or we'll do it on a glass. either way. Place it on the glass, and we want to make a copy. So we push start, and it takes in the information, but it doesn't like it. It wants you to load it through here, and that's fine. You could open this up, and this is the document feeder, or the side tray, and you can put the side feed tray and paper in there, but you wonder why it's not coming out of the drawer. And the reason is, and so what we're going to do is close this, is because we haven't set the settings back to the default, which this copier won't run on an automatic setting unless you set it back to default. So we're going to delete this job because we don't want it anymore. So confirm, delete, and we have to, we could pick this again. Okay, let's say we pick that setting. All right, we picked the yellow cardstock because that's what the machine is programmed to copy on, and the second person coming in doesn't know that, but you can see that a custom setting has been put in. So it's like, well, I'll just press that, and it actually will make the copy. Okay, so there is our copy. It made the copy. The problem though is how come it won't just make a set or a copy by simply being on auto select? And that's because the custom setting still is programmed into the machine. The way that you restore this back to the default, which is just regular paper without being cardstock, you have to open the drawer and shut it again, and it will bring up a screen that has the size, which we're keeping it the size. This is the default, 8.5 times, or 8.5 by 11, and the type, we're going to change this back from the custom setting back to the plain paper setting. That is the default, the very top one. And then over here on the color, we're going to restore that back to white paper, which is also on the top. That didn't press, and so make sure they're all pressed. And so this is the default you have to set these settings to. 8.5 by 11, plain paper, and white. And then up here, now you press confirm. Now you don't have any custom programming, and you're on auto select. Now anybody can walk in, place their copy on the glass or in the document feeder, press start, and it will roll. And there you go. You have a copy. Now if there is a problem where you come up with another error, which is, let's say for instance, somebody has set this to so I open and close this again to get the screen up because I want to have a specialized setting. So now when the setting screen comes up again, because that's the way that you get it to come up is by opening and closing the drawer, then I'm going to set it to just cardstock again. And I'm going to confirm it, and I'm going to not select my cardstock custom setting, and I'm going to press start, and it's going to have a hard time here. So let's say I close it and I decide to program the next job, and so I come down here and reset it so that I can reset the custom settings again to default, so I don't have to worry about that. And so I'm going to press plain paper again, so you have 8.5 by 11, plain paper, and white. I confirm it, and now it's ready to go. And there it is. There's my copy. Another problem that can occur is if you have jobs that are waiting and it won't make copies. It still like buffers while it's waiting to copy. You can press the job status, and we're going to show you how that works by kind of flubbing it up. So once you've got to the job status, you can see that all the jobs are done. So I'm going to go back to services here. That word is services there. You can see it a little bit better. And we're going to flub up a copy so that you can see how an error can come up if you are copying and one of the jobs doesn't get done, and how to cancel those. So we're going to press yellow and confirm. So the only thing different is the yellow, and we've got our original in there. Press start, and it's gone in and out. And now we see that it wants us to make one through the side feed. And so we're going to close it. And program the next job. And we're going to put it back up on the top there. Now you can see how it's still thinking. This little piece of paper is kind of going back and forth. And you can delete. And this will stay like this for forever. And this, you can push the job statuses, but you can also push this right here and confirm, cancel the job. But let's look over here onto job status and see what kind of jobs we have. Right here we see that we have a copy job. And when you see that there's some jobs waiting to be done, you just need to cancel those. So you press the job. Maybe there's like 2 or 3 on here. So you press the one that you want canceled. If you've got zillions on here, maybe you don't want to cancel them, but usually that's the problem, because it's trying to perform something that it can't do, because it's trying to copy something on a custom setting, but it's not able to do it. So we delete that, and let's try that again. I don't think I'm pushing it. Okay. Okay, there we go. And now you're going to push confirm. Yes. And now you can see that it's empty. There's no more jobs. And now we can go back to services. And we can see that there's still a custom paper there. We can either pick that color and let it run, or we can go back to opening and closing the drawer so that we don't have to keep pressing that. We can just put our originals on the glass or in the feed tray and have it automatically copy. So once again, you have to restore this back to the default, which is 8.5 by 11, plain paper, and white, which are all the settings on the top of each category. So if you go into here, it's white is the very top, plain paper is the very top of that, and 8.5 by 11 is the top. So each one, you can just remember it's that. And then you're going to confirm. And now you've got it auto, and there's no fancy custom settings. Now you're ready to make your copy. And you don't have to press anything special. You just simply put it on the feeding tray or on the glass. We're going to we have one on each one, it looks like. So, but we're going to do this one. This is going to pull it out. Another thing is, if you want to use this tray, all you have to simply do is place a piece of paper or a piece of cardstock in there, and it will pull it through. But right now we're going to do this one and press start. And we have our copy. And now we're going to do one more where we show you to use the feed tray. And all you need to do on this is place your piece of paper on the feed tray, and it's going to feed it into the side. It's going to pull it from there. We're going to use the one on the glass. And since I put it in the side, you can see that it's pointing to that, and now you can set your settings. You can, usually people put their cardstock on the side if it's extra thick, so it goes through a lot better on that side. It prevents jams as much as in the tray, and so you can set your setting to the cardstock if you want, or if it's just everything is just fine, you just have regular paper, which is what we have over here, then you just simply push confirm, and then you can push start. Okay, we're going to try that again. I've got this because it didn't pull this from here, so let's see what we do. We're going to try it again. Let's put it from up here and press this again. Okay, so this is showing that it's on the side there, so it should pull from there, and we're going to push confirm. Okay, so now we've got this tray down here is what we need to use, because this is the feed tray. And now you push start. So when you see this pull in, yep, that's what it was. So there's another thing to know. So when you are using the side feed tray, you need to press this button. And this is actually for the drawer down here. And this is the settings for the side there. And so now we're going to put it back to auto. It will automatically go back to this auto setting. But the thing that you need to do, and you can just close that up if you're not using it, but the thing that you need to do, though, is make sure that any of these custom settings are set back to the default, which is once again 8.5 by 11 plain paper and white paper. So there you are.